According to the placard here, the Aurora Cemetery has graves dating back as early as the 1860s. And there's a few interesting facts associated with the cemetery, such as there are hundreds of graves buried here from people who had passed away from spotted fever, which they believe now is the actual form of meningitis. But the fact that I want to point out is, and the reason why we're here, is because of a legend that a spaceship crashed nearby in 1897 and the pilot killed in the crash was buried here. Hey sightseers, Sightseeing Sally here, and Marty. Do you guys believe in aliens? Not that kind of alien. I'm talking about the little green men that drive around in spaceships. Well, we're here in Aurora, Texas, following down a story or a legend regarding little green men. And I'm sure you're going to find it rather interesting once we get into the story. But starts out here at a gravesite in the cemetery. As we make our way over to the gravesite, I'll start with the story about Ned, the alien who is supposedly buried here in Aurora Cemetery. Back in spring of 1897, there were reports of UFO, strange-looking airships flying across the sky in this area of Texas. And apparently, April 17th, 1897 was considered a big day because one of those ships, a cigar-shaped ship, crashed into the landscape not too far from here. And as the story goes, the townspeople here felt compelled to bury the strange and misshapen looking being that they found piloting the ship. And they gave him a name because obviously they weren't able to communicate with the being to find out who it was. They named him Ned. And Ned is buried here in the Aurora Cemetery. Now, as strange as that sounds, there was actually a newspaper article that was written in the Dallas Morning News. And you can legitimately find this news article today in the historic archives. And they have it listed, a copy of it listed on the Town of Aurora's website that you can read, if you can read the tiny print that's there. But it was a legit story that was written by a person about this supposed event that occurred here. And Marty and I had heard about it and we thought that would be really interesting to check out. And there is legitimately a marker here. Granted, whether or not there's anything buried underneath it, we don't know. And obviously we're not going to be in the business of digging up any graves anytime soon. That we find it really interesting that there is this grave marker and people visit Ned today. If you're interested in finding Ned's grave yourself, if you come to the Aurora Cemetery here in Texas, you need to come in, and when you're facing the cemetery, look to your very far right, and there is the very far right road. If you drive up it and then look over to your right, there is a large misshapen tree, and inside that tree is an actual beehive where if Marty pans over there, you'll see bees flying in and out of that hive. And according to the legend, those bees are there protecting Ned's grave. Now, there used to be an actual grave marker that the citizens of Aurora had put out for Ned, and unfortunately that was stolen back in 1972. Then a replacement marker was put out in, I believe, sometime after that, but then again it was stolen, I believe, back in 2012. So now all that sits here is a large rock, and as you can see, people come and leave tokens for Ned, the alien, and we've also come prepared. We're going to leave a couple of tokens for Ned as well. Well, it must be true what they're saying about the bees being very protective of Ned's grave, because now Marty's got one chasing him trying to sting him. Now, I'm going to try and stay away from irritating the bees. I just want to show you the different tokens that people have left for Ned, which is really cool. And Marty's leaving a softball for Ned, and then I've got something else I'm going to leave for Ned as well. But if you look, you can see obviously a lot of different pennies, a shell, a gemstone, a bracelet, a Bluetooth speaker.
Ned can jam out.
Yep, Ned can jam out. Ned can eat Kit Kats. Apparently Ned must have a sweet tooth because they've left several Kit Kats for him. Somebody's left him some earbuds, that way he can listen to some music. You've got one of these, I think they're like an ugly doll or something to that nature. Another one that's like more of like a little voodoo doll. Some flowers. A little guy. If anybody knows what toy this is, leave it in the comment section below. I can't remember what that is. It reminds me of something, but I'm not thinking of it. Some Snickers, M&Ms. Somebody by the name of Abnormal Voyages left their sticker.
All right, a $1 casino token.
Yeah, a casino token. Another like silly guy token. So a lot of cool stuff here left for Ned. Well, I got a slinky here for Ned. And Marty left the baseball. That way, when Ned gets lonely, he's got some toys to play with. So that's what we're leaving for Ned today. Is the story true or not? I don't know. I've always been a believer that we possibly can't be the only beings in a universe as infinite as ours. I mean, there's infinite possibilities of worlds that could possibly exist out there. And so, for me, I believe that there is probably some truth to it. What about you, Marty?
I don't know, it's kind of strange because I don't remember exactly when, but I thought airplanes like kind of were invented by the Wright brothers in the early 1900s. You're talking about an article, if it's true, I haven't looked it up myself, was printed in the 1890s. It's got to have some validity to it.
Yeah, if they were seeing flying objects in the sky that they had never seen before, I mean, that hadn't even existed yet. So, who's to say that it's not true? I mean, granted, it could have been some guy's idea of a practical joke writing up a story like that, and we have no way of knowing that because we can't jump in the old time machine and go ask them. But you know, it is interesting how over time that legend has continued to be believed in because they continue to bring tokens. As you've seen here, people believe in it and they leave tokens, and I don't know. I guess I'd like to opt on the side of, yeah, I think there might be some truth to the story.
Never know.
You never know. And with that, sightseers, we're gonna move on to other explorers. If you enjoyed the vid, give it a big old thumbs up because, you know, they're free. Remember to smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. And leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Do you think the story about Ned is true, or is it a bunch of bull? Be interested in hearing what you have to say. Until next time, this is Sightseeing Sally. Special thanks goes out to all our fellow sightseers here on Patreon and PayPal. Without you, these videos wouldn't be possible.